Hello once again. I'm going to show you how to make Neil's coleslaw. Pretty much box standard, but I've got some gadgets to show you how to make some really fine coleslaw as well. So I'm going to take half a cabbage initially. Just peel off the plastic. Hope you can see this properly. Take away the hard card. There we go. It's a shame I didn't have a rabbit because a rabbit would love them. And then all I'm going to do with a very sharp knife is wafer thin cut it. So it's a very fine shred. So I'm chopping it into a very fine shred, and you can chop it again depending on your bite size, what you prefer. And this is just going to be a very basic coleslaw. So if you don't want it sticking out your mouth like a spaghetti, then you would need to chop it perpendicular to what I'm cutting it now. So let's just finish off with this first, and I'll show you. Maybe cut my finger. Now this is only going to be for 2 people. I'm doing a pulled pork with this, but I'm also going to cut this half differently. If you're wondering what's wrong with my knife, guys, it's one of them ones where it has like a painted finish on it, and they don't last forever, and because I sharpen them so often, that paint just comes away. Probably eaten some of it. I've never died, but never mind. So here we go. So this is going to be a smaller cut, and as you can see now, it's a very fine shredded. There's some big pieces in which I'll remove. So now to show you the gadget which is going to do the carrot. 2 seconds. So these items, as you can see there, a set of peelers. Each one has a different type of serrated edge. They just clip apart like that. One's for doing a very fine slice peel, like a crisp or chip. This one is to create a shredded effect, if you can see that. And this one here is just a very straightforward box standard peeler. Now these all together in this pack I purchased from Asda, and they're only £2 for all 3 together. Probably selling them in Walmart as well, but in the UK version of Walmart, which is Asda, these were £2, and they're that price now, and this is being recorded on the 27th of the 2nd 2019. So let me just basically show you what I can do with them. You'll be very impressed with these. 2 seconds while I get a fat carrot. Just be careful of your fingers, so chop and tail the carrot like that. They have been washed, so depending on the length of the kind of shoelace like thing you want, this is what's going to happen now, right? So I'm going to get the carrot, push that onto there, pull it down, and we're left with a very fine shred. So let's just do some more for you guys. I'm hoping this is in shot. I'm using the DJI Gizmo camera. And the thing is, this stuff goes a long way. Excuse me, hand being in the way. So 10 to 20 strokes there, and you're left with a very fine shred. Obviously you'll split these up. If that's too long for your coleslaw and you don't want it hanging out your mouth like shoelaces, then obviously just chop it again. It'll only work better on the hardest part of the carrot. Again, I'd recommend getting a rabbit because there's some waste there. And there's your fine. Excellent for salads, for cooking, for adding to stews, all this healthy heating. I do have one of them spiralators, but I think this is so easy because the only thing I have to wash now is that device. With regards to the other peeler, let's go to this one. It's got a serrated edge, but it's not as serrated as that kind of spiralator. This thing, I don't know if I can do it on here and if you can see it, but that will actually create a very, very, very fine chip. So if you can see that, it's a wafer thin slice, slightly crinkled, if you can see. Don't know why I said really so many times, but that will create, if you were to do that on a potato, then you get that very, very fine slice. And if you were to drop that into your pan, however you cook your chips, your crisps, that would cook in next to no time. Or if you want to add them to a soup, then that would be a good thing as well. So let me just get rid of all this for you guys, 2 seconds. So all I'm going to add to the coleslaw now is a white onion or a brown onion, depending on what you call them. The smaller you cut an onion, the stronger it will be. So if you don't like your onion too strong, then just don't dice it or slice it as fine as what you can do. Otherwise it'll be very overpowering in your coleslaw. Well, let me just get rid of this. So what we got here is your fine shredded shoelace like coleslaw, or the ingredient to be the coleslaw. I'm going to also show you how to do the cabbage, mainly this red one which you see here, for the pulled pork as well. So let's just chop this first without chopping my fingers. And then if we slice it again, not too fine, and we're left with a very fine chopped funny onion. Do the same with this one. Might be a little bit dark, this picture, I do apologise, but I'm very limited in my little small kitchen of how much room I've got to cook, my light, everything else. So let's get rid of these big bits. Now all I'm going to add to this next is mayonnaise. I'm not using expensive mayonnaise, because what you find with mayonnaise is the dearer or the more expensive the mayonnaise is, the more it tastes of egg. And coleslaws are not supposed to taste of egg, it's supposed to taste of cabbage, carrot and onion. So the cheapest branded coleslaw, sorry, the cheapest branded mayonnaise in your supermarket, and I know Asda do one for 40 pence, it has a kick to it, because you can taste like a vinegary taste, which is what the coleslaw should have within its flavour. But if I add that to this now, it'll be too soon and it'll make this sweat, then the mayonnaise will become watery. So that's all chopped ready. Now I'm going to show you something to do with the red cabbage. So we'll chop it first. I initially said in the video that I'm going to use all of this for pulled pork, which I'm making tonight. The pulled pork's going to consist of the pork marinated in the pork ribs rub. That's in the oven now on a very slow heat, and that'll be cooked for about 5 hours. Let's just chop this again. And along with all the vegetables, the spring onions, normal onion, radish, the red cabbage, some white cabbage and carrot as well, which is not being used for the coleslaw, and that'll be the garnish, which will be served in wraps. Right, going back to this serrated gadget, let me just rinse this off. So this makes you kind of spiralated vegetables, and it creates a string-like effect. If you use it with red cabbage, white cabbage, cucumber, carrot, things like that, you will end up with this effect. I know you can't see it properly, sorry guys. So what I'm doing now is doing what I did with a carrot, but I'm doing it with a cabbage, and it creates a string-like effect with a cabbage. Now, because red cabbage is quite moist and it's got a dye on it, you need to let it dry out before you add it to anything else, otherwise you'll end up with a purple everything. So I'm hoping you can see guys, but all I'm doing is spiralating the cabbage with this device. It's a basic video guys, it's no Gordon Ramsay video. And I'm making string-like effect. Get rid of the big bits. And what we're left with is this will go in the wraps when we're making the pulled pork sandwiches. Do get a few lumps and what have you, but they can soon be removed. Again for the camera. The longer the strokes, the longer the vegetable when it comes spiralated. However, with a cabbage it's all made up of little fine bits anyway, so it'll only be as big as the pieces you shredded, and that's the end result. So you've got a very fine shredded red cabbage, which would be perfect for a sandwich, for soup. In our case it's going to go in a wrap for the pulled pork sandwiches tonight. That will do the same with cucumber, carrot, the white cabbage. Just giving you a few of my tips guys and experiences with the cooking I'm doing. I'll show you the end product tonight once it's all cooked. In fact, let me show you what's cooking in the oven now. It's only been in 5 minutes, but I'll show you 2 seconds. That's going to be in for about 5 hours it is. So once again, there's a carrot. This is going to go for the filling inside the pulled pork. So as we serve the pulled pork and we make our wraps, we can pop this in it along with our barbecue sauce and everything else. The reason I'm chopping it in half prior to shredding it is you just need that edge to start off with when it comes to cutting it. If you try and pull it across there, then you've got less contact onto the vegetable anyway. So if you start off with the edge here, it just allows you to give more contact. You will get some waste because cabbages are just all leaves, wrapped in leaves. It's just be very careful with your fingers when you're doing this. And once again, there's your very fine carrot, or cabbage should I say. And you'll find these in your Asda. That's what they look like. Pack of 3, a plain, serrated and chip or crisp maker. For £2, you can't go wrong for that price. I mean, a box standard peeler's around £5 anyway, so you're getting all 3 for £2. Try doing that with a knife without taking the ends of your finger off. Just to finish up guys, there they are, easy peelers, £2 for free, £2 English for 3 of these items, which all clip together just like that to do the potato chip crisp, original peeler, and the spiralated type, which gives you that kind of thing. So anything from carrots, white cabbage, red cabbage, or your box standard coleslaw.